So on Midnight's night, you listen to Carly Rae Jepsen and not Midnight's. Oh wow!
Okay.
Expose! Expose! See, this is what it's about. This is what it's about right here.
Okay, well, I did listen to Midnight's first. Because like it's really hard to pick, and everyone was texting me about Midnight, so I was like, you know.
So I see where you stand politically.
Right. I mean.
I think the realist Swifties actually criticize Taylor, so
I agree. You gotta criticize the
you have to. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know anything about the Swift culture, so I don't know shit. But Alyssa, you do know. You're a real Swiftie. You love her. You love many things.
I'm registered actually on my ballot.
Wow,
I wrote in Taylor Swift for everything,
which is not true. And she is joking.
She's the new mayor of DC.
Yeah.
Wow. I was about to double down on that. That was crazy. I was like, yep, you sure did. And that's what we should be doing.
Alyssa lives in DC. We did grow up in Nebraska together, but now she lives in DC. And, you know, I feel like from the beginning, you know, when we just like met in school, like I always kind of associated you with being like, I mean, politically active, you know, like you knew what was going on. You were mad about things because you were informed, you know what I mean? Like when you used to tweet, you know, it was like a mixture of shit posts, and you know, there was some, you know,
it was shit posts and shitting on
the government. Yeah, and so now you live in DC, which is like, you know, the biggest stamp of
political girl
bossage. And so who better to have on a podcast to kind of just discuss like elections and the ways that maybe, you know, they for sure fuck over poor people and the government in general fucking over poor people.
Right.
They are known for that.
They're famously, that's kind of what they do. It's kind of their thing.
That is kind of their thing.
It's impressive how good they are at it.
Yeah.
No, it really is. If you look at it, like the history, it's like, damn, okay, that was kind of intricate the way that y'all was screwed over that entire community.
The craziest thing though is that they like are just so stupid.
Right.
Like they're not even trying. Like I mean, they're trying a little bit, but like it just
they're not trying to do it. It's like, you know, when you get like it's harder to get a 1 on the ACT than a 36. It's like they're trying, but they are still dumb, but they're still getting like a 1 on the ACT. It's like, what's
the elections were really crazy this year. The midterms did not go the way that it was expected to go.
Yeah.
There was no red wave, which was
it was some like
shocking.
Mid-cycle spotting, I would say.
It was, it was some spotting. I mean, and that was not what I was expecting, especially with Mr. Biden's approval rating.
Right.
Going into this midterms, I was like, oh no, we're in danger. But to the point of politicians being stupid, I feel like Republicans are really stupid.
They're stupid with their full chest. Democrats are stupid with like a whisper voice, you know?
Well, it's like that thing that's like, oh, like everyone's like in the United States is kind of like racist, but like the North is like subtle about it. Yeah. And like the South is just like outward about it. And like it's like that.
Thing. Yeah.
I think the whole country kind of revealed that they all want to be a little more subtle though. Because I think the whole, like, you know, just being outspoken, you know, outspoken racism, the January 6th, all of that very clearly did not work.
Didn't work. The feedback wasn't good. The aftermath was just, you got made into a meme. Like,
made it to a meme.
Can I just say, living in DC on January 6th, I never felt more like the center of attention in my life.
Wow.
I was like, everyone was like, are you okay? And I was like, I don't live anywhere near the Capitol building. Like, DC's very big. I mean, it's only like, I think like 10 miles across. But like, it's very big.
Weren't in the action,
But I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm okay. Like, this is crazy. Like,
as you should.
Everyone was like, do you work on the Hill? I don't work on the Hill. I should really clarify that. I work for a nonprofit. Because the Hill is a cult in DC.
The Hill is a cult.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about DC culture. I've been to a lot of places in the United States, but DC is not one of them. And not like for any particular reason. I've just like never, I mean, I don't like the government.
Right,
so it's like,
for sure.
Well, I feel like it's gonna be government vibes there, you know? Like there's kava and shit over there, which I love. But it's like, then I gotta just be like looking at like
what
government.
What is kava?
Kava? It's like Mediterranean Chipotle. And we have it here.
It is the greatest fast casual chain.
Yeah, it really is. We have it here, but it's like more abundant in DC and like easier to get to because it's like more walkable. But we need to go to Kava. It's so good.
Yeah, we should go to Kava. Yeah,
the best thing I've ever brought to you was the information about Kava.
Yeah, Alyssa introduced me to Kava. Alyssa also introduced me to Shein. You
can't tell people that.
But years ago, like
the good and the bad.
we were high school, and we don't shop at Shein anymore. But you know, when we were looking at prom dresses, it's like, all right, well, I don't got money for this, so Amazon and Shein.
What's the bad thing about Shein? I don't know nothing about Shein.
That is a can of worms.
Well, do you know like kind of anything about like the fast fashion, like why?
I know it's bad. That's all I know. Yeah. I've heard recently about it. Brady was talking to me.
It's just like one of the most. Yeah, I mean, Alyssa, go ahead.
Fucking over poor people. If we're gonna talk about it, like they like really take advantage of their workers in other countries. They like mass produce. Also create so much waste.
It's essentially like Amazon, but only for clothes, really. And I guess some like other random, like don't buy the Robin from Shein, you know, like all those like memes.
Yeah.
But I definitely bought posters from Shein at one point in my life.
Yeah, like you can buy other things, everything. But it is just like how everyone knows why Amazon's exploitative. It's like that, except maybe even worse because it's like less in the public. Like I just feel like they outsource more of it than even Amazon does. And so it's like, yeah, there's like, I guess, I don't know the specifics, but
it is hard to balance though, because like obviously Shein is bad, but like being sustainable in any way is also extremely expensive. Like no one can go to Reformation and just get like a $300 dress.
Yeah, that is so real and true. And I can't remember the last full priced article of clothing I have purchased. Genuinely, like I'm not trying to be quirky because it's just like I literally can't afford full price clothes.
Right.
But I don't want to shop from Shein and Amazon, so it's like I guess the only option left is thrifting.
Right.
But that also is like, okay, I can't shop for specific things. You know, it's just kind of what I stumble upon. And, you know, you don't want to buy too much because, like, you don't want to, like, completely deplete the supply. But then when you go, because, like, all the Depop girlies are there, like, in their, like, Demonia platform boots and, like, Apple AirPod Max Beat headphones, like, getting, like, carts full of stuff. So it's honestly kind of getting hard to thrift, at least in like areas like this.
That's what makes it so difficult, I think, is like you try to be good and be like morally correct as you can. And then all the companies that make it easier or possible to shop, period, are all like Amazon and Shein. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, wow, what am I
it's
supposed
so
to do?
Cheap. It's like, this is what I can afford. Like, this is how much a shirt should cost.
Yeah.
You know, if it was made by machine and not like the small hands of a child.
Oh, Jesus,
you know, which is why it's so fucked up.
It's recycled material, so it's fine.
Right, duh, of course. Recycled off the back of the child.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, it's pretty evil.
Man, I didn't know it was like that.
So yeah, Alyssa introduced me to Shein many years ago, you know, and but she also introduced me to Kava, which is, you know,
and that's really what's
actually what's important.
Yeah, let's focus on the good things. You know what I'm saying? Let's focus on the Kava, the Mediterranean Chipotle.
Alyssa, while we're on this topic, do you want to talk about how your suspenders are sustainable?
They are. Whoa. Okay, they should sponsor your podcast. It's Lucy and Yak.
Lucy and Yak.
Lucy and Yak.
Yeah, they like don't have any. It's only cloth. Like everything is like tied, and they just make super cute suspenders, and they not suspenders, overalls, but they sell everything like that has like some sort of mistake or a stain on Depop for like a discounted price, so there's like zero waste.
Like they do.
Whoa.
Like
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's hard.
And you were telling me like they look into all of like where they source their materials from.
Whoa.
Yeah. They have like inclusive sizing and stuff. Like, you know.
I believe so, actually. I'm not gonna, don't quote me on that because I haven't checked in the past.
That's
so
sick.
Alyssa no longer shops on Shein. She shops
at Lucy and
Yak. That's really what it's about. It's about
like
learning. It's about educating and learning. You know, you started off with Shein and now you've made your way to Lucy and Yak.
And it's also like, okay, to an extent, it's like, let's not villainize poor people. It's like, that's all
sure.
I had the money to afford. I couldn't afford a prom dress from whatever the fuck, like Taylor Hill or whatever.
Dillard's.
Yeah, from like where everyone else, Dillard's literally. And so it's like, okay, well, I bought my prom dress off Amazon. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, I'm sorry, it's Amazon, but like, you know, I need to have nice things too. Kind of, it wasn't very nice, but
like,
you know.
you deserve to like have a dress too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a limit in, I feel like, how much you should demonize a person from like supporting quote unquote a company versus the company itself that is doing all of these evil things. It's a systematic problem. It's not a problem of consumerism because it's like, obviously if you had the option of getting a more ethically sourced dress, you would get it. Yeah. But it's like, that's not possible. And you still need a dress and you still have to live in this society. So it's like, what am I gonna do here? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and then I donated it at Goodwill. So it's
and
like somebody else
you try your best.
Have a prom dress. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
you try your best. And also, there's like no good companies. So it's like, what are you gonna do? So
what am I gonna do?
What are you?
Capitalism's the root of all evil.
Capitalism is the root of all evil.
It really is.
It really is.
Like we've written books about it. Power and whatever, getting to men as humankind, and that is exactly what capitalism is.
It really is.
Based
darkness.
Off of,
it really is darkness, pain, and sadness. So what's this nonprofit that you work for? Are you allowed to say?
I mean, I can. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be working there much longer.
Real.
Because I needed a raise. Because it's nonprofits notoriously like just underpay the shit out of people.
Right. Yes. I've always wondered how that works because I'm like, if it's a nonprofit, how are we paying to do all this?
Exactly.
Where does all this money come from?
Where does the money come from?
Yeah. Depends on the nonprofit. Some of them are like super, super under. I know people who literally make like $40,000 a year doing backbreaking work. Like they will work 12-hour days. I have a friend who like will like text each other like once a month and we'll be like, hey, do you want to hang out? And she'll be like, sorry, like 2 weeks later she's like, I was working 12-hour days, like I can hang out now though. And I'm like, oh well, I'm leaving, so I will see you when I get back, I guess.
Oh god.
But like I know multiple people who are kind of in that situation. Like nonprofits just really fuck people over who are actually passionate about specific issues, which is really unfortunate. Mine pays like pretty decently for a nonprofit, but the cost of living in DC is so high.
Right. Which is wild. I kind of feel like why is the cost of living in DC so high? That's my question. Is it great? Is it just fantastic?
There's a housing problem there for sure. I don't really know, like there's just a lot of people that live there.
Really?
Okay.
I don't really know why it's so high, actually. I could not answer that.
Is it like anything to do with like the fact that it's like there's like, isn't it, it's kind of its own tax, like is there like some weird tax stuff that's like just DC? Like
yes. So the license plates actually say taxation without representation because whoever designed them are petty as fuck, which I love. And we have like a congresswoman, I believe. We have a congresswoman, but she doesn't get to actually like vote on anything.
Oh, what'd she do?
She just
because DC is not technically a state.
Yeah. Same with Puerto Rico. It's the same situation with Puerto Rico.
Yeah, you have your own Congress.
I was like, what?
Wait, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, because it's
so now I'm getting the taxation. Yeah. Oh, so y'all are literally like not, the people who live in DC are literally not represented.
But you're getting taxed like separately.
But you're getting taxed separately.
I get taxed so much money.
Oh,
I mean, crazy. I don't really know anything about taxes. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. Neither do we. But
yep. No,
we're trying to learn.
Did an episode. Yeah. Yep. Didn't learn a lot.
But I know people in Virginia. I know somebody who lives in Virginia, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I was like deciding between DC and Virginia, and the taxes are so much lower in Virginia." And I was like, I didn't even think about that. Like,
right?
Because it's also like we call it like the DMV because it's Virginia, DC, and Maryland. And they're all just so close that it's kind of hard to like distinguish. I mean, we can distinguish. Maryland drivers are terrible. That's kind of like the big rule of thumb.
Okay, all right.
It's really hard for people online, I think, to distinguish what the DMV is because y'all keep saying the DMV. Everybody from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area keeps saying the DMV. And I'm like, what the hell are y'all all doing there? And in what state?
It's like they're all in their little blazers and fucking pantsuits, be like DMV.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is going on?
What's this little club going on?
Yes, I'm thinking that y'all are like getting cars fixed. I'm like,
literally, someone posted today on like Instagram. I saw someone's like story that were like, oh, like fuck the DMV, and I was like, what did we do to you?
I'm like, we couldn't have chosen any other acronym. Why don't y'all just be the VMD?
It is crazy. It's because it's like New York and LA like are the main characters of the United States, but like the DMV so badly wants to be the main character.
Yes.
So they created like this little acronym for themselves. And it's like, guys.
Not to shit on the DMV. And
I mean, I'm sure it's lovely. I'm sure it's lovely.
I'm sure it's a lovely
place. You guys,
place.
you know.
Which one are we talking about? Which DMV?
Your DMV.
Okay.
Yours,
okay.
Your home. Your homeland.
Yeah, my new homeland.
What will be the point? because you said the DC is only like 10 miles across or whatever. It's like a pretty small. So like, do people live there that don't have any connection with the government? Is that like really a thing? I mean, you need baristas. You need like other people, obviously, but like, what would be the point in living there?
Yeah. So actually, like, that was something that surprised me when I first moved there because I interned there like the summer before. I got a paid internship, which is unheard of.
Wow.
But they like everyone around me was like such a girl boss. It was insane. Like everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I want to be a lobbyist." And at the time, I was like, "Oh, I want to be a lobbyist." Then I moved out there, and I was like, "Oh no,
I don't want to be a lobbyist.
Yeah, I literally was like, I hate networking, and like everyone's like, "Oh, networking's so important," and I'm like, "No,
what
I'm
is
not
a
gonna
lobbyist exactly?"
So they like go to politicians and they're just like, "Hey, we want this specific law or this specific policy passed."
Okay.
So when you see like the NRA donating like $1 bajillion to Ted Cruz's campaign,
that's because they had lobbyists who were there who
to convince.
It's like connected, and then like lobbyists can go and they're like, "Well, we gave you $1 million."
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, y'all ain't shit.
Y'all ain't
to the
shit.
NRA lobbyists. I don't know about the other.
Yeah,
lobbyists.
the other ones are probably good.
Yeah. Some of them.
Depends.
I would say,
Right.
They're reaching out to Republicans.
Yeah, it got like a really like they like redid lobbying, like a lot of like they made it a lot stricter because there was a lot of like dirty lobbying and like the
I bet like
80s or
bribing
something.
and stuff and like other things.
Yeah, now that's all done under the table, guys. Don't worry.
Oh,
Right.
love that. Love that.
Perfect.
Yes,
Okay,
let's just keep it
good.
away from our eyesight. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? I'm
like,
trying to eat
yeah.
dinner on the table. Let's put it under.
Come on.
Allegedly.
Yeah, let's put it under.
I don't want to be fired / sued by anyone.
Of
absolutely.
course.
You know, this is all off the record.
Don't fire or sue Alyssa. I don't even really know what y'all do. I don't know who you are. I if you told me you're a lobbyist, I could not care less.
Yeah, that would mean nothing to me. And I feel like to most of any of our viewers.
Yeah, I live in LA. Like, do you think?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got our own like the shit out here. So what exactly is your like duties in this nonprofit?
So I work with the government relations team. Okay. So our government relations team does not do bad things, to clarify.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
A good government relations employee.
Huge.
Yes. I basically like do all their communications work though. So I'll like help write the press releases and I'll like make comms plans that go along with their like lobbying goals.
That's tough.
And I write tweets. I don't know. I hate talking about work like in the context of like when I'm in DC. I don't know how it is here. It might just be like similar in a very different way, but everyone is like, "Oh, what do you do?" That's the first thing people ask. And it's always like work, like what do you do for work kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I will try to move on as fast as possible because everyone will just talk about their jobs for like 2 hours and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like here obviously I'll talk about my job because
right.
But like
but for the most part you try to like avoid being like the 2-hour talking, like going in depth about the job and stuff like that.
Yeah, because honestly, I just don't find it that interesting. Like, I enjoy it, obviously, enough to have... I, like, majored in poli-sci. I'd, like, majored in comms, too. So, like, I always wanted to move to DC. At least when I didn't always want to move to DC. I wanted to move to DC starting, like, when I was 19 or 20.
Okay.
That's still pretty early.
Yeah.
It's pretty early, yeah. It's still pretty early.
Yeah, and then I did it because I got a really cheap deal on rent in the middle of the pandemic. And rent is really expensive there.
Yeah.
Similar
Do you
to
still
here.
have that deal or no?
I actually got a job that paid more because I worked like a contracting job I literally did lawsuit work for the Boy Scouts of America.
What the
That's so funny.
This is cool.
What was the craziest lawsuit?
Oh, no, they were sad.
Oh.
No, like the Boy Scouts of America, like the lawsuit against the Boy Scouts of America.
Wait, what was the law?
What was the law? It's public, right? That's public.
It's public. Yeah. It's all public, or I wouldn't say it.
Lawsuit?
It was a sexual assault allegation.
No, I was hoping it wouldn't be that. I was hoping anything but that.
So I don't.
God damn it.
So like my favorite, none of them.
Oh my god. Why couldn't it just be like, oh, like someone choked on the popcorn or like damn.
What if a child just choked and died? Yeah.
No, just like choked and someone was annoyed about it. And they're like, well, I'm gonna sue the Boy Scouts. You know, that was like my ideal situation because that's kind of
upsetting. That's really upsetting.
Damn.
Damn,
Well, can't
it's so
say
unfortunate
that
it's so
I
unfortunate that
am
that makes sense, though.
surprised.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's literally I was like, that's so sad that actually makes sense, I guess.
And it's like, oh yeah, you're like trying to like get drinks in DC. You're like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh yeah, like I'm working on the lawsuit against like the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, like I quantify people's trauma. I could not do. I like had to quit.
Yeah.
Which I got another job, thank God, like a permanent job.
Nice.
And that's where I've been since. But now I'm gonna move on because I want money.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Are you planning on still working in the DC area, or?
Yeah, so I'm still working like in the same kind of general field, like communications in the context of government relations, but for like a consulting firm, which that's like a bad word, honestly. It feels like
we shit on consulting.
So I forgot what episode that was.
That was like, Michael's episode.
I'm not a consultant. I will not be a consultant, I promise.
Yeah.
No, everyone like the stereotype in DC is like, oh, like the Deloitte consultants always make so much money and they're such assholes. As well as like the Republicans just in general.
Right.
They all like congregate in like the same areas.
Yeah.
But they're like it's like a polling firm, so it's like not like
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not quite like they do consulting too, but I'll be doing like polling.
How do you feel? Yeah, because I mean, I have my callings with the government as like everyone does, and I feel pretty, I mean, not lucky because I did choose this path for myself, but like my career path has nothing to do with the government. Like, it's like I gotta like stand for something and like really be the face of this. Like, does it feel weird ever?
Yeah. So when I was in Nebraska, I worked for the Chamber of Commerce because they were like one of the only internships that paid. And it was like,
you in these paid internships, you get paid for these shit.
Yeah. Like, I had to go through like 4 unpaid before I could get like one single paid.
You're real as hell. I fuck with that heavy. You're like, I'm getting paid for this shit. You paying me for my time.
And honestly, like, I will not be not paid for my labor. Yeah. Well, like, they're like nonpartisan. This was like in the Nebraska. So Nebraska has a unicameral, fun fact. So
yes.
Are you okay?
So fucking joking. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
We can't ever have a podcast about any sort of semi-serious topic.
I know.
Nebraska's unicameral, the only one in the state, or only one in the country.
Yes. Which doesn't really pertain to this entire conversation, but it's a fun fact.
It's a fun fact. Yeah, shout out Nebraska.
Yep, shout out Nebraska.
For only that.
Amen.
Only that.
And the zoo.
They do have a good zoo. And also for Maria Small.
Also, thank you. Yeah, for Maria Small. Everybody's saying this.
Yes. I know that's right.
I know that's correct.
Right,
yeah, and the Lady Gaga song.
And the Lady Gaga song and Lady Gaga's boyfriend, who that song was based off of.
She got a song called Nebraska?
No, it's called You and I.
You and Nebraska, Nebraska, I love you.
At one point, is his name Nebraska, or is he?
It's You and I. Oh no,
she does say Nebraska. I'd rather die at one point, which is really funny because same.
Wow, and there's not even a comma or anything. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was like at the end of the song. You know, look it up.
Yeah.
We can fact check it.
Die.
She's real as fuck for that.
But the point that we are getting to, is that it was overall like pretty like low-key Republican, but it was nonpartisan technically, because all these like nonprofits have to be nonpartisan or they can't be nonprofits.
Right.
Sure.
So I'd be like, oh yeah, like I totally agree with everything you're saying. And they were like being like, oh yeah, Pete Ricketts, we love Pete Ricketts.
Ew.
Who was the
Pete Ricketts sucks.
Damn.
Pete Ricketts sucks.
Who is Pete Ricketts?
Oh, so he's the governor of Nebraska.
He's like Sheehan fucking Jeff Bezos. Like he looks
his
like
family started TD Ameritrade. He's like billionaire governor.
He sucks. He sucks. And my apartment in Lincoln was literally like right across the street from his mansion. I lived in a poor neighborhood, so it was just like the only mansion in the entire neighborhood.
Why did he live there?
Because it was right by the Capitol.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, it was like. Also, like, I don't even think he lived there half the time.
No,
because his family was so rich. Like
a figurehead type. Yeah, like
governors are the worst. The governor of South Carolina is Henry McMaster, who just won again during the midterms, which is so upsetting. So upsetting. He was running against Joe Cunningham, my guy from Charleston. Shout out to Joe Cunningham, man. He was going to legalize weed in South Carolina.
Wow, that would've been
Wait, it's not. I
crazy.
didn't even realize it wasn't legal in South Carolina yet.
Nah, it's never going to be legal.
South
That's probably
Carolina's,
part of the
like,
reason why
Republican
he
as fuck,
didn't get elected. Yeah, no, South Carolina is an incredibly red, so ruby red state, as they describe it often.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, they're trying to glamorize the fuck out of that ruby red.
Ruby red state. Yeah, that means that
Ruby
we're off
red.
on majority of all of our elections. We're always voting
Ruby
red. No matter
red. What are they calling, like, rigor mortis blue? Like, what's the connotation of these? Like, okay, yeah, like.
That's so.
Ruby
Yeah, I
red.
don't know. I wonder what they do call blue states, but yeah, ruby red does. It is such a glamorization because I'm like, oh, rubies are cool. I guess.
Yeah, rubies are sick.
Yeah, but Henry McMaster is not. Fuck Henry McMaster. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
Republican governors are like terrible. I mean, Republicans in general are really awful, but Republican governors especially. Ugh.
Right.
If anyone is wondering why we haven't gotten our student loans forgiven yet, it is because of the state of, well, there's like 5 states suing against it, but the actual lawsuit is like Nebraska versus Joe Biden.
You're kidding. Wait,
Yeah.
Nebraska? I did not know
Nebraska
about this.
sued this like federal government for the loans.
Okay, so fucked up. That's so fucked up.
Holy shit! I wonder if South Carolina is part of that lawsuit. I don't know. I guess it would have to make sense financially. I don't know.
Oh my.
That's annoying. That's annoying as fuck. I didn't know y'all were so red. I did not know y'all
Yeah,
were so
incredibly.
Republican.
So Omaha went blue for Joe Biden in 2020. And they also went blue for Obama in 2008, but then they started gerrymandering the shit out of it.
Right.
So then they couldn't go blue anymore, and now it's
Yeah.
always red.
That's what Republicans are trying to do because I think really what we saw during the midterms is that Gen Z is about to push this country very far left. Like in the coming years, if we make it to the age of 40, considering that the world doesn't end from climate change and all these other things, this country is going to go very, very far left because there's not a real Republican presence in Gen Z at all, according to like what we have seen in the past 2 elections. It's really just been that Gen Z has come out and voted, and they all vote to the left. You know what I'm saying? So I think
just getting people to the polls.
and I think at this point now, because of Trump, and because of Trump and then all of the like Trumpian politics that have happened in the last like couple of years, it's like we don't feel like we have a real choice anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, well, we're all going to get out and vote. And I think even the right-leaning Gen Zers are more libertarian than they are Republican.
Right.
So I mean, the Republican Party is like done. The Republican Party's done in the next 20, which is why they're trying to change voting rights to try to like up the ages and stuff like that because they know they don't have a presence. You know, they have no presence in Gen Z at all, which is insane. Like it's really insane that they lost so badly during the midterms. I mean, the fact that there was not a red wave is insane.
And Democrats kept control of the Senate, assuming
And Democrats control the Senate.
The Georgia runoff is obviously going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter
obviously
now. They made
but-
51 because Nevada went blue too.
Oh,
Nevada
yeah,
went
yeah.
blue and Arizona.
Wow.
I'm the
That's
fucking political guest
insane.
here, and I'm like, oh wait, really?
No,
No, that's
Nevada,
crazy.
Yeah, we
didn't-
already Democrats already control the Senate. No matter what happens in Georgia, obviously, I think Georgia is gonna go blue too, though, because I don't see Herschel Walker taking that runoff. So,
Oh yeah, I checked like the results, and it was still like he's almost 1,000 or almost 1% over.
yeah,
So it's like
which is like
fine.
once they do the runoff, it'll be very clear. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, it's this Gen Z is so far to the left, which is great.
There's a
That's
Gen Z
fantastic.
congressman now who just got elected.
There is, yeah, Maxwell.
He was at the
Whoa.
1975 concert in DC the other day,
Yes,
and
he
they like
was.
shouted him out.
Yes, he
Wow.
was. Yeah, Maxwell Frost.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Like, yeah, to imagine like being the next generation of like
I
all
know,
these things.
really insane. Yeah,
We need more 1975 fan.
we sure
representation.
do. We sure do.
And he's a Kingdom Hearts fan. You know, he just like chef's kiss.
Wow.
More Gen Z.
That's
a
excellent.
congressman of the people.
Yeah, congressman of the people.
Just you.
Hey, shout out.
Yeah, no, he's real. I mean, he's real. I mean, the way that the direction the country is going does look to be a lot more hopeful. But we do have to make it there, which means that we got to figure out this climate change shit really quickly.
Did you guys vote this year?
Yeah.
I voted in person for the first time ever because of like,
exciting.
I mean, there was like a bunch of COVID, you know, like I'm not that old. So like I recently like turned 8, whatever. So yeah, it was my first time at the actual physical polls and it was so fun. It was like a
Wow,
little
yeah.
like touch screen.
Yep, touchsceen.
Oh,
It
that's
was
fun.
cute.
I've
I had a
never
little
done that.
sticker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was-
The touchscreen is cool. This was my third time voting in person. I voted in person in South Carolina. This was the first time that, assuming that Karen Bass wins, wins for mayor of Los Angeles.
Yeah, I was gonna say she pulled ahead, didn't she?
She pulled
I just
ahead
saw
recently.
that.
Yes, which is
Thank God.
Fingers crossed.
Katy Perry is she's the queen of flopping.
Yeah, Katy
everything
Perry,
she touches turns to flop.
Yeah, truly.
That's
I mean,
so
also she
embarrassing.
posted a picture of her election ballot, which you're not allowed to do. But I guess they don't care here.
It depends on the state.
Yeah,
Some
I
states
think
it's
in
fine.
California, because
If you did it in South Carolina, you'd be done. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to vote this because I wasn't registered in Los Angeles. But California is a liberal state, so they have same day registration here. So I registered at the polling place and I did it. And I was like, wow, this is how it should be. This is how it should be for everywhere. But if I was in South Carolina and I was not registered, you don't get past that date.
Yeah.
Then they do not let you do it. They do not let you do it, which is insane. So yeah, more voting rights for people. Let's allow more people to vote, please.
And less voter ID laws. I'm looking at Nebraska here. They just passed something for that. It's met as well as like many other states already have that. It's very unfortunate.
Yes.
Right.
And get out and vote. Get out and vote. I know that voting is especially after I think Trump ruined so many things, but the integrity of voting, he also ruined the integrity of voting. And
yeah, to an extent, I was like, oh, I'm voting on a touch screen. Like, I'm kind of like scared, you know?
Yeah,
it's like, what if like this, like it glitches, or like they're just like fucking with the shit back?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, he really truly has like broken the trust of voting. And I was like, well, I think my vote counts.
Right, exactly.
Who I voted for,
exactly. But it matters. It really does matter. You know what I'm saying? All the little stuff like about life and the way that we live in our society, it really is important. So definitely get out and vote, because if you don't get out and vote, you're basically voting for the side of evil people because that's what they want you to do. The worst people in government want you to not vote and not care or think that your voice doesn't matter, because as soon as they do that, then the whole thing is, like we said before, Republicans are trying to take away voting rights from people because they know that if they don't vote,
literally why
in
the South it's always like red, like there's that association, but it's literally just because like
they're gatekeeping the elections because they know they like wouldn't stay red if everyone actually voted. Like, what are you scared of? Let everyone vote. Like,
which is why Georgia has gone blue in the last couple of elections, is because Stacey Abrams just fought so hard for voting rights there, changed a ton of policies, and then all of a sudden, like, you see the state leaning blue. It's been blue the entire time. It was literally like they just kept in Georgia specifically, they kept black people from voting there. I mean, they keep all people of color voting anywhere. Obviously, it's different for black people and majority of the country just due to just racism. But it is like for Georgia especially, they were keeping black people out of those polls, because if they do, as soon as you do, I mean, it's just the entire population of Atlanta. Once you allow Atlanta to vote, they're all gonna go blue. You know what I'm saying? Because they have been hurt by Republicans their entire lives, and Republicans know that, so that's why they try to keep them away from voting. You know what I'm saying? So the side that you don't want to win, the side that hurts people's and wants to take away people's rights, they're expecting you and wanting you to not vote.
Right.
So,
and there is like the nuance, like, like voting doesn't do everything. Sure.
Right,
like
it
there
doesn't.
is like, we know, like, yes, like there's more to be done, like whatever, like we're still voting. We're voting for the lesser of two evils, and literally like Isaiah just said, like the right is counting on you not to, like counting on you not to vote. And it's like, okay, well, at least vote to prove I'm wrong.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
it's like, it's much easier to like, convince a power hungry Democrat to like do something good for the people than a power hungry Republican.
That was like a huge issue with like Bernie Sanders fans, which I love Bernie Sanders to clarify.
Love him. Amazing. He would have
chef's kiss, love Bernie Sanders. So like that's also me, but a lot of people were like, oh well, I'm just not gonna vote when he lost in the primaries. It's like, and it's like, okay, then like that's like part of the reason we ended up with Trump. Like only part, not blaming Bernie fans for Trump, but like it's like, okay, even if it's like the lesser of two evils, like you should still go out and vote.
You should still go out and vote. Right. You know, I voted for Joe Biden. Very I was fighting demons, in the polling booth place, selecting Joe Biden's name. But at the end of the day, I still
honestly,
selected Joe Biden's
Brandon
name.
is kind of iconic.
Yeah, hey, he came through. It's so crazy that we're actually going to look back at this presidency as like one of the better presidencies in history now, especially after this midterm, because it's unheard of that an approval rating that low should have got him this Senate and this win in the midterms. It shouldn't have happened. So it's like,
we're just randomizing, like we're just hitting the generator.
Yeah, it's like, damn, it's like,
here.
oh,
like,
fuck
none
it.
of this
just
making sense.
Whatever, like we'll just fucking throw up. I guess he can just do whatever the hell he wants, you know what I'm saying? And then his speech, I don't know if y'all saw his speech after. His speech was trash. I'm like, this guy, he's an interesting president. But I mean, his last couple of policies right before the midterms really changed everything. His federalization, the legalization federally of or decriminalization of federally of marijuana was huge. And then I forgot what the other one was that was really big. But then Republicans decided to take away abortion rights right before the midterms. Stupid.
Imagine.
That was really stupid and just an abhorrent violation of human rights.
Yeah, that was extremely stupid.
But it was politically just such a dumb move because it's like, right before midterms, you're gonna take away human rights right before we have to vote on like who
but the gas prices.
But the
gas prices. Right. Who care about?
It's like, oh, bro, people are gonna care about the $7 gas prices more than they care about the right to abortion. Now look, now there's a Democratic.
You gave the infographic girlies a lot of shit to talk about right before the fucking midterms, and we got our ass to the polls. I was at the polls, and I'm not ashamed to admit this. I was at the polls with an infographic that I had saved because, like, I was like, yep, these are all the people I want to vote for, and I'm not gonna write it down anymore. I pulled up Instagram and had it open at like, thank you. You know, on it, like, I know we shit about it, but it's like social media truly like is the tool for communication moving forward. Like there is like, I get people like don't like to be on social media. Like there's certain people who are like, it's not for me, like whatever. Well, that's, I mean, your job is in
quitting.
Your job is in social media also partially. So it's like, it's just more for like kind of having a separation of like work life, but it's like,
I think even if you don't like social media, the impact what social media has done for information, for information is really incredibly important. Yeah, because I was also in the polling booth, fully looking at infographic, and I asked the people what I was signing up. I was like, "Can I look at my phone because I have an infographic?" And they were like, "Yeah,
absolutely,
like, absolutely.
Like you could vote at home with all that shit."
And, you know what I'm saying.
We need to thank our underpaid nonprofit and election workers for that.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to election workers.
Shout out, I was getting texts of like my closest polling places. Like they're putting in the work.
They are.
I mean, I don't know what the right is doing, but personally, I don't think, I mean, I guess maybe I'm just not on that side of the internet things, but like, I don't think they're like, I mean, I think like it's more of like the right to view like social media as like, oh, like the woke mob, like they're just like being dumb and shit. Right, but it's like, okay, well, you don't have an infographic for me to look at, so I'm gonna vote blue. Like,
exactly. Which
maybe if y'all had cuter infographics.
Exactly.
Honestly,
really,
nobody's looking at an infographic with a bald eagle like screaming angrily, and then nobody wants that.
I had a nice little chartreuse, like there was cute.
Like, it's like, come on, you gotta be real. But
gotta speak to Gen Z. Like I think
you have to.
So much of the right, even the Gen Z right, like they just feel like they're not a part of they're like, oh, like we're like above all this, like you're literally our age, like you're part of the generation, like,
exactly.
If you were smart you would like I don't think Christian Walker is smart, but like the stuff that he's doing for like
that is
right views, like
that
he's
is
like
so
a
true.
right-wing influencer, and like
it's funny that you bring that up. It's funny that you bring up Christian Walker because that's so true. He's all they have. He's all the right has, which is like,
hey, they also have Joe Rogan
and Elon Musk.
Who's not? No, Joe Rogan's not a Republican.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's not a Republican.
Even the Republican like people that they have, they're like quietly, oh, I don't do politics. You shouldn't really trust me because I don't know what I'm talking about. Like that's what Joe Rogan says. It's like they don't have anybody fighting for them like on their side. It's like, meanwhile, I fully made on an election day a video that was like, Republicans are stupid, go vote. Like, you know what I mean? And like that's a lot of Gen Zers are like seeing that, and I feel like a lot of kids, or especially like younger people who are coming up and being able to vote very soon, it's like even if you do lean more conservative or you do lean more right,
you're gonna be influenced.
You're gonna be influenced a little bit.
Are gonna do the influence.
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
And like, as much as I kind of hate to say it, but don't, because it really is the future. Like the fact that influencers and celebrities are like posting about voting, like it gets annoying, but like it has become just like the norm, like to like flood your feed with like all this usually left-wing information.
Yeah.
For some wild fucking celebrities.
Yeah, except for wild celebrities.
Taylor
Except for
Swift,
wild
like
celebrities.
when she was going through her like original like 2018 performative activism moment.
Yeah.
I stand by that because she doesn't say like anything
Right.
like after like Roe v. Wade happened, she didn't say anything,
Yeah,
and
that
I'm
was wild.
very much allowed to criticize her on that.
That was wild.
Yeah, no, we're literally gonna get canceled.
Brady's back.
I'm a Swiftie. It's fine. It's fine.
Right. Right. Alyssa's a Swiftie.
Real, no.
Yeah, I am a Swiftie, and but Taylor Swift got like so many people registered to vote in 2018. It was insane.
Yeah. And if that's the way to do it, that's the way to do it. Like, I'm not gonna knock the way to get people.
And she still like promote. She was like, "Oh, everyone vote." Like this last year, I was
Yeah.
like, "Girlie, just say like for Democrats, though."
Right,
Like, we
right.
know.
Right, yeah.
Blue.
I really thought that you like wouldn't be able to do that. Like be able to go on social media and be like, you should vote blue. You should vote Democrat.
Yeah, but it's
or
literally
whatever.
freedom of like
but
literally.
you really can.
It's not your fault that they listen to you.
Yeah, you literally can, which is kind of
it's
like
not these
insane.
kids' faults that like their parents are literally like feeding this shit to them, you know.
Right,
like-
exactly.
And
you
but
know.
it's the influencer's job.
It is.
to educate them.
Unless you're the owner of a
Just kidding.
social media, I'm looking at you, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
You cannot do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you technically can, but you should not. That's
Yeah.
that's
You should
fucked.
not. Yeah.
I mean to kind of bring it back to like the topic of like what our podcast is about, like a reason why I am passionate about like social media as like a tool for just truly like any sort of message for now in the future is like it's accessible. You know, like everyone has a phone, really, like even if it's an old ass phone, like you've got a phone, and like a lot of people have social media. It's like just it doesn't gatekeep information.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, people have jobs, and it takes a lot of time to research like who to vote for, you know. Like I was looking through the comments and like, you know, I was doing my own research. It takes like a lot of time, and some people literally, when they're like literally working a bajillion hours to afford to live, like literally don't have the time. And it is so useful to have social media like at the touch of a finger to be like, okay, this, you know, this helps me out so much instead of just not voting, you know, which I feel like.
And like also the time to research, like my mom was texting me. She got so into voting, which is great. I love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
And she was like, I finally found something where I can look at all the judges in like the county. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, girly,
There's so
I've
many-
never thought of that. Like I always like look at the infographics too, and I'm like, okay, who should I vote for? Like I do like
Yeah.
the basic research, but then after that, because it's so hard to like make the time for it, especially if you are working like a million hours.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's
like
really hard.
don't have
And
access
it's
to
also,
certain
I feel
cable
like it's
channels,
hard.
yeah.
It's hard on purpose. It's hard on purpose.
absolutely,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because, you know, California had 30 propositions and they were all like Prop 1. It was like Prop 1, Prop 2.
And they were all
And
worded
and they were
to
all- they
sound
also
really
word-
good.
Yes.
they also word them so specifically.
Right, exactly. I was
Yep.
like, I don't know what side I'm supposed to be going on in
Right.
this situation. You know what I mean? So it's like, I had to look up like a proposition. I'm like, what's the proposition? And then what's the proper way to vote if I believe this? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then you had to go deep for this shit. And it's
You
like
do.
they make it like that on purpose to try to keep you from voting. Like that's not like if you think, oh, voting is too hard or voting is too difficult to like get into, or that is the point. They did do that on purpose. You know
Like,
what I'm saying?
And like I don't know how California is, but DC they automatically mailed out ballots like
Yeah.
that you can just like put in a Dropbox. It's
Yeah.
great.
It is super nice.
And a lot of states like you have to request them, which means you have to like sign a form and then
Yes,
submit it
that's what it's
back,
like in
and
South
then they
Carolina.
send it, and it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Or like they just make it so complicated on purpose because they're like, oh, people are gonna forget about it.
Yep.
right.
And then people are going to be busy the day of, and they won't be able to go to the polls, or maybe
Yeah.
they don't have an ID, so we're going to put in these voter ID laws.
Yep.
And then they won't be able to vote because they don't have the ID.
yeah.
Yep. That's all it is. It's all games to try to get you to.
Which is
Not-
fucked. Is it not? Like
Yeah.
it's really just like that's so dystopian to think
It
about.
is.
Like they're making it so hard to do technically a civic duty. Like, okay, if it's my
Yeah.
duty, like let me do
Let
my
me
work.
do it. Yeah, let me do
Let
it.
me do
easy. Like
it.
this is all like this is what it's about, is
Right.
it not? Like this is what I'm a citizen of the United States for. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, but that's also not going to change if you just say, forget it. I'm just not going to vote because my vote doesn't matter. It's like that will only change if you
Right.
continue to play the game and then also on the outside of the game fight for the game to be changed. You know what I'm saying? Like it requires both.
It does require both. You literally,
you can't just do one or the other. So but crazy election season. It was a crazy election season. Was not expecting it to turn out as good as it did. So woof, good for that. All right, some hope for the country for the first time in like 6 years. 6 years. Wow, Jesus.
It's like a sprinkle of hope.
A sprinkle of hope. We need a dub. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm currently like listening to Obama's audiobook and I'm just like, wow, to be like a millennial in 2008 and like be able to vote for the first time then would have been so nice. Because we got Trump.
We got Trump on our first one, which was tough,
first one.
Man. That was tough.
That was horrible.
And like being at that age where we were like in high school in Nebraska and like we were both, we were all three like in red states, and then like your close friends, then you find out like they not only did their parents vote for Trump, but they voted for Trump. I had a friend who I should not call her a friend anymore. She's definitely not listening to this podcast, but she does still follow me. But she like she took her mom's ballot and voted for Trump because her mom didn't know who to vote for. Like it was like
that's
it ran
not legal.
Deep. It's literally not legal.
That is voter fraud. On the right.
Yeah, committing voter fraud for Trump. Embarrassing.
Crazy. Yeah, embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Really embarrassing. Somebody got arrested for that, and it was in a TikTok. Then they were like, they voted for Trump twice or something like that, and then they got arrested for it. And they're still like on probation. It's like for Trump,
right?
Jesus,
you're gonna ruin your life.
You're falling across for that man.
Guy? Oh,
that
geez.
man.
It's
That's so humiliating.
Yeah, it was really hard for like to be to witness and see how much of society like did not care about your life back in 20 at all. Like there was so many friends who were like, oh, I'm voting for Trump, but like I still want to be friends with the I still
I'm sure you do.
Oh wow,
both my parents are immigrants. Trump literally wants Trump to die.
Oh my god, I don't.
That's crazy.
Who do you think you're talking to? Like
this is like made up. Like you think, it is for you because none of it affects you.
Yeah, because none of it affects you. It's like, oh, you could just do whatever. You could just do or say whatever, and then it's fine because it's like all just like a game to you. But it's like real people's lives are affected by this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and people would be like, oh, like we used to be able to. Whenever people would post in their Instagram, like I don't care about your politics. I'm your friend.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Like we don't judge each other. Yeah, I was like, yeah, you're a Republican. Just say you voted for me.
Yeah, no one who is not a Republican was saying that.
No, literally.
Nobody
like you were just admitting you're a Republican.
Yes,
and also like if you're like racist and homophobic, like I don't want to be friends with you.
We're not friends. We're literally actively not friends.
We're not friends.
Like
we're not.
I don't fuck with you.
Yeah, and you don't deserve to be. I'm not being nice to you either. Like that's like the thing. Like I'm not being kind to you. I'm sorry. Like I have better things and better people to give my kindness to. I have better people to give my time to.
There's truly so many people on this earth.
Like
you're
not special
if you're Republican.
Yeah, you're not special. You're not like I don't get why as Republicans especially is like
they think they're special.
Yeah, they're like but guys, like my word matters too, doesn't it? It's like your word fucking sucks. Your word is fucking trash.
Your word sucks. Technically, there's two parties. It holds equal, but like it sucks.
Right. I'm sorry.
I don't care about it.
Yeah, your word is fucking trash, and I don't really care about your opinion. I like, and I don't care if like, and there everybody is always like, oh, we're supposed to be unity, and it's like it's all about growth and like growing up together. Like
you hate me.
You
like
fucking hate everything that I stand for.
And if you want to be friends, you're a hypocrite too, because it's like, okay, so you say you hate gay people, black people, whatever. It's like,
and then it's like, oh, but you're cool though. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of my. I don't care about your opinion.
You don't stand for fucking shit.
Yeah, I don't care about your opinion. Like I don't care about what people. I also have no reason to be kind or nice to you. So it's like. I don't know why. I don't know where that whole like tolerant left thing came from. I'm not tolerant. I don't be tolerating that shit. No,
it's like moderates.
Yeah, those moderates. Yeah, those must be the moderates because they're certainly not on fucking this side.
Not talking about me.
Yeah, you are not coming on this side and getting a whole bunch of kindness just because that's the good thing. That's the American right thing to do. Fuck you. Suck my dick.
Yep. Period.
You're a piece of shit.
Soundbite.
You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. So I don't fuck with that shit, but. Yeah, glad the election turned out the way it did this year. Amen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, keep going, Maria.
That's what you get. Bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
Y'all fucking suck.
I will say, like, I was already going to vote or whatever, but like the thing that really was like, oh, I'm gonna vote in person and like have this be like acoustic version, you know, of voting, even though it was a touchscreen. It ended up, but it's like that video that was made. I don't even know how long ago of like all the old people, and it's like they're actors, so I'm sure the actors themselves are not Republican, but they were like old people acting as Republicans, just like talking to the camera one after the other, being like, Gen Z doesn't vote. They're not going to make it to the polls, but I am. They're stupid. Like, they was just like kind of like taunting, and I was like, oh, fuck these old bitches. I'm getting my ass on the poll. Ugly clothes. Like, I'm just kidding. I mean,
they showed up. You showed up in your best fit.
I was looking cute.
Yeah, I was looking nice when I went to the polls.
This is what the left looks like.
I was looking nice when I went to the polls. I was stunting on them. I was definitely stunting on them.
That meme that's like my grandma's funeral, me showing up to the polls.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah.
I was
there. I was done. Yeah, it was good. But yeah.
We have 3 minutes. Jacob's playing the outro music, and we have 3 minutes left.
Jacob said, "Okay, I'm so tired of listening to you guys."
It's like, anything to say?
Are you just jamming into it in your own privacy? I wish we need a Jacob camera.
Right.
We need a Jacob
camera.
Maybe
eventually one.
Maybe like
putting more work on Jacob today.
Once we start getting paid. We did very quietly. But we were also yelling at you because we were
I thought I heard it through like your
your
headphones.
Yeah, it was playing through your headphones only.
It was really loud in my headphones.
Yeah, that's why we could hear it. But we have 2.5 minutes.
No, continue.
And we're probably gonna have to like cut some shit out, so we should probably like talk like you know what I mean? Like we said some wild
we said some wild shit this episode. What were we talking about this episode?
Cut for all your sponsors.
Sponsored by Shein. Holy shit. Wow. Yeah, how do you feel about like Quenlin, whatever, like how she was like doing a bunch of Amazon shit and like then did the whole like about $100,000 couch and like then like explore like I guess that's like that's just her being wild. But like when you have influencers like being like Amazon influencers, like how do you feel? Do you like because I honestly, this is not rhetorical because like I don't know my stance because it's like Amazon has enough money to provide to me, a poor person. So like I'm gonna exploit their whatever generosity, quote unquote. They just like want to give me money, you know. Mm-hmm. Or it's like, oh well, damn, like I'm gonna support Amazon, but it's like everyone's already gonna be shopping using Amazon anyway. You know, it's like not like me. I'm acting as if Amazon's in my DMs. If Amazon was in my DMs, I'd be in a much different position.
Maria got an Amazon offer that she is trying to justify on this episode.
No, also sponsored by Amazon.
It's like, let's say Amazon did want me to like make a post. Like my post about Amazon isn't gonna make someone want to shop, but like it's already so pervasive to our. But it's like I want to, you know. It's just like I don't know because influencers are just to make money too, you know. And it's like, especially the right, but like even just like a lot of everyone like doesn't think being an influencer is a real job, and to an extent, it's not. Like it's
sure.
Like all my friends are influencers, and like it's not a real job.
It's not a real job. No.
It's still like,
but it's still a job.
They have it's their job, and it's how they pay rent. And like the friends I have aren't like extremely exorbitantly wealthy. Like they're just barely have more money than me. So it's like, Quenlin Blackwell is very rich.
Incredibly rich.
But I'm just talking about more of like the lower, like, are we going to judge them for shit like that? Because the holiday season is coming up, and I do expect some of my friends to be doing brand deals with some wild companies. I am not going to judge them, but I'm wondering how like other people feel about that.
I personally haven't like really got like an offer to do that, to do from a company that I like really.
Because hasn't Prance?
Prance got some wild. Prance has some wild.
Prance got some wild offers.
Yeah, he's got some wild offers.
What do about those?
But it's hard to say no to that when it is your rent and
a matter
it is
of
like you know what I'm saying, and it's like, and knowing that it's probably not gonna change a lot because again. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. It's probably not going to change a lot because your individual advertisement is not going to change the system and make Amazon go bankrupt or anything of the sort, but it will pay your bills. So it's like
a lot, like our influencer friends are living paycheck to paycheck, more or less. You know what I mean? So it's like that's how can we really judge them for that? You know what I mean?
It really is difficult. I feel like at the end of the day, you just kind of have to do the best that you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, make content that aligns with your morals and your morality.
Right, like like what you were saying earlier about like the clothes. Like once I'm in a financial position to only shop super ethically and also like local business, whatever, like I would. But and so it's like the similar thing where it's like when you're at the influencer level where you can pick and choose brand deals, it's like. Then where it's like, okay, now I'm gonna be judging you like Victoria Paris, Gwendolyn Blackwell, like
exactly.
It's like, you don't need to take the Amazon deal.
Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just I feel like people can see effort and people know your heart. You know what I'm saying? I at least as much as you can.
I would hope. I mean, everyone's trying to do a worst faith reading on the internet, but
that's true. You know, so I think you have to make it pretty obvious.
Yeah.
You gotta make it pretty damn obvious. Like, okay, y'all. Everybody knows what I make and everybody knows my content. This is an advertiser that is giving me a ton and I need to take it.
Right.
So
unless it's the NRA, then like
that's real. You could not do an NRA ad and it would like still be like there's no
I don't even know what that would look like.
I don't even know what that would look like.
Well, the Republicans don't think influencers are good, so this will probably never happen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they don't have any
like making this up.
They don't have any Gen Z presence. I mean, unless it's like, it would
Christian
be
Walker.
Unless it's like Christian Walker.
Caitlyn Jenner. I don't know.
I don't know what. I mean,
Caitlyn Jenner's not Gen Z by far, bitch. But like, you definitely suck. Like,
yeah, Amazon. I feel like Amazon, you can probably get away with. But even Amazon, like it's like very questionable. NRA is like a definite no.
Right. That's literally
NRA is like a definite no. But like, I can't think of many other companies that would be like a definite no.
I mean, I can't think of them right now. There's definitely so many.
Yeah. I mean, like it would have to be like people who like sponsor war or something, like Raytheon.
Another sponsor of this podcast.
Sponsored by Raytheon, Amazon, and the NRA. If we did that, we would probably be able to get like into some circles and put this particular episode into like a lot of like right-wing media.
Yeah. I will get blacklisted from DC.
And you know what? I don't want to go there anyway. We've got Kava here. I just have to drive a little bit further, I guess.
That's real. But I feel like Republicans need to see shit like this, especially younger Republicans, because I think, again, I don't think there are many younger Republicans. I think there are a lot of younger right-leaning people who are probably going to skew more libertarian in the time that they grow up. You know what I'm saying? I don't see a lot of
what was that?
The GOP.
It's like everyone always used to say, not everyone, but like all my friends' like Republican parents growing up would always be like, yeah, you know, like everybody gets more Republican as they get older.
That's also like not true.
It's also literally they're just
like
saying
they
that.
Literally like did studies and they're like, no, people stay in their parties like most of their
Right.
lives. Like there's usually not really a shift.
No.
Like what it's like.
So I don't know where the hell that came from.
I don't know where the hell that's coming from.
Yeah, because I've really gone like further left the more that life goes on. And even I can see where they're being like I think what they're trying to say is the more that life goes on, the more that you value yourself a little bit, because at the end of the day, conservative politics are very selfish. You know
very individualistic.
They're
very, very anti-government. And it's like, the more I realize like the government has, you know, not my best intentions in mind.
Right,
even
exactly.
if it is. Like the Democrats, it's like, okay, yeah. That's not gonna make me Republican.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more like a radical left.
I still won't vote against human rights, like ever. Like there's not an age thing that's gonna like make me do that. And also, like, I mean, I feel like that more skews towards things like taxes or something. And like as you get older, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna vote more conservative because I don't want to pay as much in taxes. But even then I'm like,
it's like there's like a weird I feel like if that's the reason, it's like, do you not value human, like it's like a dehumanization
exactly
thing. Like I'm just like, I don't get it. I feel like if I'm ever at the point where I'm like, I just want to save money, whatever, instead of thinking like, oh, I want the best for like marginalized groups of people, like, then I'm gonna be like, someone just like shoot me.
Like,
what the fuck?
Where's my humanity going?
I really think that like in our parents' generation and every generation before, like they could work hard and make a good living.
Yes.
Like they could work hard, pay off college, get a house, and like make a good living. So they're under the impression that like you can still do that. You cannot still do that. And so like maybe if that was still possible, like it'd be like, oh, like you grow up, get more Republican, because like, oh yeah, everyone should just work hard, and then they can like, but it's like, okay, well we know
the
as Gen Z
now.
that you can work as hard as you want, and it doesn't matter.
Exactly,
it doesn't matter. Like there's so many other things involved. So it's like, yeah, no, like this generation is not.
Also, that's like such a white person thing to say. I feel like, it's
like
oh yeah, of course, because you don't have any other barriers.
And
like,
what is you're working hard? Like you're a fucking consultant. Like working hard is literally the people crossing the border and like literally like picking fruit like that. Like like don't like be serious.
Oh my god! And like when progressives, okay, this is like a whole other tangent, but like when progressives are like, oh, we need to like pay people more, or like we need, like, you know, they're talking about like this job, they're like, why are they so mad that immigrants are taking these jobs when they don't even want these jobs? And it's like, yo, you're cool with other people working in fields, like, little suspect.
Like what's that about, and why are you
like you're cool with importing people from Mexico to work there? That's pretty fucked. Reminds you of something else that happened.
A lot of something
feels real familiar about it.
In a different font. With maybe some serifs and fun green color, but bad.
It's a papyrus.
That's papyrus. Avatar 2. Avatar 2 coming out. Their font is papyrus.
They like the second one. The font is better though. It's not. It's really? Like fancy papyrus. I don't know. They like they zhuzh it up a little bit. You know.
They've got to with Avatar like that. I used to fuck with Avatar pretty heavily, but
it's been 13 years, so I mean, you probably had a lot of time to like for the flame to die.
Yeah, for the flame to die. It was just cool, like cinematically.
I think it's apparently it's Cassius is really into Avatar, and so like he's very excited for Avatar 2. Apparently, it's gonna break grounds with cinema again because it's like underwater and like it's like more cinematic feats. I don't know.
Jeez,
I don't know.
You know, I think there may be a place for that. Things that I feel like I'm just very story based, and I don't like this. I mean, the story of Avatar
story's weird.
So, but like it is cinematically a masterpiece.
Yeah,
cinematically, it is like amazing. Like for what they did at that time was pretty incredible.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll check it out.
Movies, entertainment. It's like Avatar. Oh, that is not papyrus at all.
That is a little
see, it's like way prettier. I think
movies are like the way to like get the like public that would not inform themselves of like other messages otherwise. It like brings the messages. Like it. I don't know. Like I do think movies are a great way to like. I don't know, maybe subtly like plant the seeds of certain
Watch
themes.
Avatar and you'll vote blue. Because you'll see
a lot
blue.
Of blue. Yeah. Yes.
It's blue.
It's Avatar blue. That's what they call other, like, you know,
Avatar
Ruby
blue.
Red.
Yeah,
Avatar
Ruby
blue.
Red.
Avatar blue.
Avatar blue. It's Avatar blue.
Ruby Red and Avatar blue.
Yeah, we gotta take some movies away from some politicians though, because you see that Kamala Harris thing where she just ended her fucking video saying Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what concoction of drugs she's on.
Yo, she's on some crazy
want to know.
Drugs,
I would like.
She is laughing her ass off in everything. Like she's having a blast, and I'm like, oh, okay, shit ain't that good. Shit ain't that good.
I wish I felt that way.
For sure. Right. Yeah, I'm like, whoa, what the hell?
Like, what does she know?
On? What does she know?
She
was like the wheels on the bus go
Joe
round.
Biden.
You see the wheels? You see the wheels on bus go round and round video?
No.
Oh yeah, I saw someone said like the Joker right after blowing up a school bus.
Yes, she's like walking out of a building and she's like, the wheels on the bus go round and round.
It's like not on tune. It's not like it's
out of tune. It's not the tune of wheels on the bus go round and round. I don't even think there's not even a way for me to emulate it because I know the tune of wheels on a bus. So I'm like, on the bus go round and round. Fam, it's so frightening.
Also, the Venn diagram clip is so good.
Yeah, the Venn diagram. Yeah,
I love a good Venn diagram.
I love a big Venn diagram. The way that the circles and it gets diagonal. I brought props. She's so wild. I have no idea what she's on.
She's a hoot and a half.
Yo, she got that job and was like, I am doing drugs, bro. I am doing hardcore drugs.
Holy shit. I'm very small.
And I'm Isaiah Washington.
And I'm Alyssa Jones, and we are Breaking Broke.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.